Cream is good. What else? What is like the power master healing elements? You got it, Amanda Herlin. That's right. So if you know you're going to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep, it's all about healing elements. All right. Well, good morning. Really pleased to welcome you all this morning. And my name is Jill Brenny, and I have been with Lemongrass for almost 12 years. So, thank you, friends. And I want to share really 2 things with you this morning. One is to really focus on the impact Lemongrass has had on my life, especially the last 18 months, but also the incredible sisterhood that this company has. And Amanda shared a really helpful quote with me the other day, and I want to share it with you all. It's from the book Girl Code that she told you all about. You never know whose life you can change by sharing your story and your authentic self. Your honesty and willingness to share can help someone else feel less alone, more understood, and inspired beyond words. And Amanda, you brought us to tears with your inspiration yesterday. Thank you, friend. I thought it might be helpful before I just talk about the last 18 months. Do I have this mic too close? Or can you guys hear me okay? Don't talk with a mic every day. I thought it would be helpful before I jump into the last 18 months to give you a little fun context of what it was like 18 years ago. 12 years ago. Almost 12 years ago when I started my lemongrass journey. And I was invited to a party, a foot soak party, very last minute, which almost 12 years ago meant that I had a 3-day notice. Today that would be fine. But I was a brand new neighbor in a new neighborhood, and a lovely woman by the name of Mary Ann said, I know it's really last minute, but I want you to meet some of the neighbors. Do you think you might want to come to a spa party where we're going to soak our feet, do hand treatments, and by the way, we have student massage therapists, so would you like to sign up for a 30-minute complimentary massage where all you need to do is tip if you so desire? Yes, I will be there. What time is this party, right? So I knew pretty quickly. I knew within 12 hours of that party that I needed to be part of this business. But I also had been a teacher, and I had been in human resources, where at the end of my human resources career, I worked with approximately 24 supervisors and managers. And when you work with 24 supervisors and managers, you learn that whoever is at the head of their division, their organization, sets the tone for the whole organization. So I needed to meet Heidi Leist before I knew I loved the bath crystals. I bought bath crystals and I said, I don't even take baths, but I'm buying bath crystals. This stuff is amazing. But I knew I needed to meet Heidi. So I went up to her house because in October, well, that would be September of 2004, Lemongrass Spa Products International was in Heidi and Brian Lee's house. So we sat at her kitchen table, and I only had about 38 questions to ask her that day, just a small list. I didn't ask her all those questions, but I knew within about 5 minutes that the woman that I was talking to had integrity, and she was someone I could partner with. And so I signed the 2-paragraph contract that day, and maybe 1 paragraph, don't remember clearly. And we went down to her basement and we packed my kit together off of the steel baker's shelves that were in her basement, and there was a piano on the side in case you so desired to play piano while you were filling your kit. Humble, 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 and that is who Heidi is, very humble individual. We're here at conventions, so I thought it'd be fun to give some convention perspective. Convention, when we got really big, was at Platt High School. And not only that, but it was was in a cafeteria. Now, mind you, it was a gorgeous cafeteria with a Colorado landscape. But we did go through the cafeteria food line, and that's where the caterers were set up. But you felt like, oh, here's my tray, I'm going through. And when we broke out to roundtable sessions like we did yesterday, we went to bleachers in the small gym. We weren't big enough to have the big gym, we had the small gym. A fun story, my last fun story is that almost 12 years ago, you had a choice to either fax your orders to home office or mail them. I never mailed them. That is too slow. So I would fax my orders, and then you had to wait for an email to say, we've received your orders. Please call with the credit card payments. So then you'd get on the phone. This makes me sound like this was 70 years ago, right? It wasn't. It was almost 11 years ago. So then you'd get on the phone, friends, and you would give your credit card information for your customers, and then it was submitted. There you go. Stephanie knows what I'm talking about. All right, so let's fast forward to current day. So the last 18 months has really been a journey for me, and I will share with you by no coincidence, in God's timing, last January of 2015, when we were sitting in Florida, Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida, Heidi announced a brand new compensation plan. New and improved, enhanced, for those of you who just started, it's an improved and enhanced compensation plan from what we had. Several of us in that room, when the new comp plan was being announced, had tears streaming down our eyes. For me, the reason was that my husband's job had just been eliminated. So by no coincidence, to hear of a new compensation plan when we've just been told, thank you, your job's been eliminated, that brings you to tears. I knew it was going to have a big impact. And my perspective on that job elimination is just that there are things in life we cannot control. We all know that. Becky spoke of that yesterday. But I firmly believe, and my grandpa taught this to me, ingrained in me, that we can control our actions and our thoughts. Now, that's easier than it sounds, right? So I literally had to make a daily decision, and I would even do my hands like this, because I do believe in that physiology. I had to make a daily decision to choose faith over fear. Faith over fear. And when I would start, those thoughts would start to just rattle around. What are we gonna do? What about this bill in my mailbox? How's this gonna work? I have 3 children that I need to feed. I would just say, Jill, calm yourself down. It's faith over fear. And I prayed a lot that first 6 weeks, and I know I was stressed about it, but now it's been 18 months. And my husband is working part-time now, but it's a temporary job. So I want you to know that I chose to walk that path fairly quietly. I didn't post it on Facebook. I didn't announce it. I had a girlfriend say to me, are you going to go ahead and let your hostesses and your customers know that this is what's going on? And they might be more likely to work with you that way. And I said, not at all. I'm gonna stay in joy. It's not about me, it's about pouring into them. As a matter of fact, I don't wanna walk into a spa party wearing that coat and thinking about those thoughts. I wanna walk in joy and spoil them silly. Because a mantra that I have really lived by, a quote that I've had over my office door for years is, what you focus on expands. And it's a quote from Oprah, but it's very powerful. What you focus on expands. Well, why am I sharing this part of my journey with you? My hope is that it will really encourage you, and some of you particularly, to know it is possible to provide for your family. with a lemongrass spa business. And over the past 18 months, my lemongrass business has kept a roof over our head. It has put food on our table. It has paid the bills. And my daughter has still been in her dance classes. My youngest has still been in Taekwondo, and my middle has still been able to go to piano. So it's not been without stress. I wouldn't be telling you the truth if I said it was without stress. But what you focus on expands, and that faith over fear has just made a huge difference. One piece of this story that Jenny wanted me to be sure and share is in November, we traded in my old car that just did not feel safe driving in a Colorado winter anymore for a new to us used car. And with the trade-in and with the commission in November, I was able to pay cash for that car, even in this situation. So thank you, Lemongrass. All right, so let's transition to the sisterhood, because that is where it's at. So if any of you have arrived here this weekend, or if any of you are sitting in your seat today feeling isolated at all, or feeling on your own at all, maybe you live in a neck of the woods where you are the only lemongrass consultant. And that's the way it was for me when I joined almost 12 years ago. I would have to drive 2 hours to go to the local team meeting, and I was the only. So I get that, I've been there. But if any of you are feeling alone or isolated, I encourage you, don't leave this space. Don't leave convention feeling that way. I really want to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone and meet somebody here. I guarantee you there's somebody here that is like-minded and that would be thrilled to support you and lift you up. So we really have individuals in this room that would be so willing to support you, and I'd like to show you that. Please stand if you would be willing to congratulate a fellow lemongrass sister when they reach their goals. Please stand if you're willing to do that. All right. Please stand if you're willing to share great ideas, great business ideas back and forth with one another. And please stand if you're willing to encourage and pour into. Because you know, sometimes we need to encourage each other on a life level. And to say, you're doing the best you can. You are a good mom. You are a good human being. I see that you are working hard. Things may not be going exactly the way you desire right now, but I see that for you in the future. And I know that all that effort you're putting in does matter, and it will matter. So look around. Everyone's standing. So please don't leave here feeling isolated, feeling alone. There are individuals I want you to share phone numbers, Facebook friend people, really connect, and just know that that is the power of this company, that we are sisters. So thank you so much for allowing me to tell my story. I really appreciate it.